welcome to KruWhan's Tea Time Podcast นะคะก็ยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนเข้าสู่รายการ KruWhan's Tea Time นะคะก็จริงๆแล้วเนี่ยเทปนี้เป็นเทปแรกเลยนะคะของการทำ podcast ค่ะแน่นอนอยู่แล้วว่า I will invite so many guests to come here ก็จะเชิญแขกมานะคะอาจจะเป็นทั้งแขกคนไทยนะคะแล้วก็เป็นแขกฝรั่งที่จะมาพูดคุยเป็นภาษาอังกฤษกันเพื่อที่จะให้เราทุกคนได้ practice listening to English language นะคะ the English language especially English in daily conversations นั่นเองเนาะแล้ววันนี้นะคะเราก็มีแขกรับเชิญพิเศษที่เชิญมาในวันนี้นะคะ Hi Tom
Hi
How are you
I'm good thanks
Yeah
And you
Yeah I'm good as well
Cool.
Thank you so much for being my guest today
That's fine
As always
Yes, I have been on many of your shows now. So why not do the first podcast?
Exactly. And to be honest, you designed everything for me here, right? The wallpaper.
Well, the wallpaper.
Yeah.
We both chose, really.
Yeah.
But the general aesthetics.
Well, for sure, especially teacups, and also this is really British, I have to admit. Yeah.
Well, even though it's KruWhan's tea time, I'm actually I have coffee.
That sounds good, actually.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Well, anyway, it's because you are British, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we are going to talk about British culture and let's just talk about British words, slang words, and different things. Yeah. So anyway, I believe that there are so many students who don't know who you are.
Really?
Yeah.
There are people who don't know who I am. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So maybe can you please introduce yourself to my students,
well,
please?
I'm already famous, but okay. Okay, so hi. I'm now looking at the lovely camera, and my name is Tom, or sometimes Teacher Tom, or sometimes DJ Tom. I come from England, and I have lived in Thailand for maybe about 10 years, something like that. I forget, I'm getting old now, so.
You're not that old.
No, I'm not even middle-aged, I'm a young man.
I know.
So yeah, I come from England, and I've lived here for a while, and I help KruWhan sometimes.
Yeah, with the setting and everything.
With the lovely teacups.
Yeah. And actually those teacups are real.
Real?
Are real. I mean,
instead of fake teacups?
I mean like they come from England. มาจากประเทศอังกฤษ อะไรแบบนี้นะคะ Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm glad that you are here. So maybe we can get to know a little We can get to know a little bit about your culture.
Okay,
เกี่ยวกับในเรื่องของเป็น British culture, right? Okay. So, I mean, first of all, let's talk about British slang words, shall we? Okay. So, when I've been to England a few times in the past, and I just absolutely love England. And sometimes I hear people say bits and bobs. What is it? Bits and bob. Is it bits and bobs?
I'm just trying to think about, I mean, technically it's bits and bobs, but maybe when we speak, and because it's like a kind of a slang thing, we probably shorten and to like an N
like
sound,
bits,
probably. Bits
bobs.
and bob. Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs.
Yeah, because it's said quite fast, I think we take the word and we take out the A and we take out the D, put it all together and we say bits and bobs.
So it's like come and go. Come and go.
Come and go. Come and
in and
go.
Out.
In and out becomes in and out.
Right. So what does it mean exactly, bits and bobs? And how do you use this word?
Bits and bobs are usually when we want to talk about like lots of different things, but we don't really want to specify exactly the things. So, for example, it could be maybe you say to me like, Tom, what are you doing today? And I say, wow. In my head, I'm thinking, so many things, and maybe they're boring and maybe they're irrelevant. So I just say, bits and bobs.
So is it like things and stuff?
Things and stuff, but we don't say things and stuff. And we don't say stuff and things, but we do say bits and bobs. It
Bits
just
and
means
bobs.
some like, or maybe I'm going shopping for many things and I don't want to say exactly what, so I just say bits and bobs, like things.
Right. So if
like things.
if I ask you, Tom, what did you buy today? And then you can say, yeah, bits and bobs or something.
Bits and bobs, instead of saying things, which might be a bit like, you might be like, that doesn't really answer my question. But if we say bits and bobs, you know that it's just like lots of little things that I can't really be bothered to explain.
Right. So you don't really want to talk about that in details, yeah?
Yeah, either because it's not relevant or it's actually boring or or too many things
Bits
maybe.
and bobs. So, Tom, what did you buy today? Yeah, just bits and bobs.
Like maybe I went to the supermarket and instead of saying, I bought sugar, eggs, milk, it's like maybe it's a very long list. I can just say, bits and bobs.
Yeah. So bits and bobs ก็เหมือนว่าก็นะซื้อนั่นซื้อนี่ไปเรื่อยก็ไม่ได้อยากที่จะไปแบบว่าลงรายละเอียดอะไรมากเพราะว่า maybe the speaker can't be bothered ก็คือแปลว่าแบบก็นะจุกจุกจิกจิกอะไรแบบนี้ไปนะคะ
Or maybe something nothing special. Like if you said, what did you do today? If I had a very not particularly exciting day, I may just say, I did bits and bobs.
Right.
But if I went, I don't know, onto KruWhan's Tea Time podcast, and you said, what did you do today? I wouldn't say bits and bobs. I'd say, I went on a new podcast.
So yeah.
More interesting.
I see. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Thanks.
Sure.
Well, anyway, the next word is the word knackered.
Knackered.
Yeah. Like, whenever I talk to British people, they will be like, I'm so knackered today. So what does it mean exactly? Knackered.
Knackered. I could speak to the lovely viewers right now. And you. Knackered means in English slang really tired. Like, I'm knackered. Like, I'm exhausted.
Right. So I'm really tired or I'm exhausted. Knackered.
Yeah.
คือเมื่อก่อนอะจริงๆแล้วนะครูอ่านออกเป็น knackered แต่ความจริงมันไม่ใช่ knackered it's not knackered
I don't know what knackered
it's
is.
knackered แล้วก็เป็นดึกอะไรแบบนี้ so it's like commonly used
very
in
common.
England
very common.
So the meaning is exactly the same as I'm tired and I'm exhausted, right?
Well, exhausted is more than tired. It's like if you want to kind of be extreme.
Like very, very, very tired.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I get home and you say, how was your day? And I would be like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But if I say I'm knackered, it's like more of an extreme.
Like,
it's like
so
I'm really tired.
tired.
I'm really exhausted.
Okay, interesting. So, but I mean, if I use the word knackered with, let's say, my American friends, do you think they will understand?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if it's common in the US or not.
Yeah. ถ้านักเรียนคนไหนรู้นะคะก็สามารถพิมพ์มาในคอมเมนต์ได้เลยค่ะว่าถ้าเราแบบไปพูดคำว่า knackered หรือถ้าใครมีเพื่อนที่เป็นคนอเมริกันก็ลองดูหน่อยว่าเขาจะเข้าใจหรือเปล่าเวลาที่คนอังกฤษใช้คำว่าknackered หรือเราใช้คำว่า knackered กับเขาประมาณนี้นะคะ
I think it's more British.
It's really British.
Is it? I think so. But I'm from England.
Yeah.
And I've only been to the US twice. So I don't really know about American slang, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about, British slang words, so...
Sure, but I've seen a lot of American
expect?
movies and I can't remember anyone saying knackered in a Hollywood movie.
Exactly.
There
That's true. All right. So, next word is the word skint. skint. Skint.
Like I'm skint.
Yeah. So skint, what does it mean?
It means I'm like I don't have any money.
Right. So it's like I'm broke.
Yeah. It's a slang word for broke that's quite fairly modern.
Modern. Okay.
Modern.
So
it's a modern slang word, like fairly modern.
Interesting. I'm skinned. So it's like skin. When you say like skin plus t sound.
Like
Skinned.
skint. For example, maybe this word like knackered. People probably said it back in like the 80s, the 1980s.
Right.
Probably, don't quote me. But skint may have started in like the 90s or a little bit later. I think it's more modern.
Right. So you can say actually it means I'm broke.
Yeah.
ถังแตกหรือว่า I'm short on cash.
Short on cash. It doesn't necessarily mean like someone has like no money. But maybe if I asked you, hey Wan, do you want to go to the cinema tonight? You might say, oh, I can't really, I'm skint. It doesn't mean you're like, you haven't got money to eat.
Yeah.
But it just means that like you don't have money for, you know.
Yeah, so it's like you have to be careful, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you
like,
spend money.
I can't do that. I'm skint means I'm being careful with money at the
Right,
moment.
I'm skinned.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Or could mean I have literally no money at all.
Good to know.
Could mean that, I guess.
Yeah. Or you just say, I don't have any money.
I don't have any money. I'm broke. I'm skint.
But I mean, you know, these slang words, I mean, it's good to know. Because I mean,
you have to know
if you
them.
go to England or if you want to speak English with British people, or even when British people try to say something to you, and if they use the word skinned, then you will know what it means. So it's good.
Like, for example, I could say, oh, today I'm knackered because I went to buy some bits and bobs and then I found out at the shop I'm skint. So I couldn't buy any.
Yeah.
If you don't know the slang words, a non-native would be like, what did you just say?
I know. Yeah, it's
And we
good to
use,
know.
sometimes we have full sentences with just slang. So it's good to know these things.
What I like though, I like the word, all right, mate. All right, mate. I'm like,
Common.
Is this a question or it's just like the way that you guys say hi?
It's just how we say hi.
All right, mate.
Unless it's literal. And then it's like, maybe I see you fell over on the floor and I say, oh, you right, mate? But it could also be, I see you in the street and I say, all right, mate.
All right, mate.
Just
all right,
means,
mate.
how are you?
Okay, interesting. Okay, and the next word,
Okay.
the loo.
Ooh, the
This
loo.
is ridiculous for me because the loo. What is it? Like if you use the word toilet, you know, people understand, or bathroom or restroom, but the loo.
I don't know where it comes from. I think it's an very old slang word.
Yeah, but you use it all the time.
It's super
commonly
normal,
used.
very common. Yeah.
Is it polite? Like
It's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, if I am student and then you are teacher, so can I say, excuse me, Kru Tom, may I go to the loo?
Yeah, it's fine.
Really?
I think so,
Really?
as far as I know. I remember when I was at school, we had another word for the toilet, which is like less polite, but not rude. But we used to call the toilets the bogs.
The box, like B-O-X.
No, B-O-G.
The bog.
The bog.
The bog.
The bog.
The bog.
Like, I'm going to the bog. And basically, the literal meaning of a bog is like in nature, when you get some land that isn't a lake, isn't a river, but it's just kind of like wet land. Like, if you were to walk through it, you would like kind of disappear into like, it's a mixture of like mud and water and grass and like nature. And that's the literal meaning of a bog. But when I was at school, we used to call the toilets like the bog.
Right.
But now I don't know if it's commonly used now. Maybe.
Never heard of that.
Maybe your students can check.
The bog.
I'm not sure.
B-O-G.
But but that was a word we used.
Right.
Yeah, but loo is really common.
The loo.
So common and like
Loo.
kind of neutral. It's not particularly polite or impolite. It's just a neutral word.
Right. So L-O-O ไม่ใช่ R นะถ้า R ก็จะเป็น ru แต่นี่มันเป็น lu แบบ L ก็คือลอลิงนั่นเอง Interesting.
Possibly even more common than saying the toilet. Like, can I go to the toilet? Can I go to the loo? It's maybe as common.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you. All right. Anyway, you know, now we just we talked about slang words. Let's talk about culture, British
Ooh,
culture.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it very interesting, and I have to admit that, some things are different from, my culture, which is Thai culture. So let's talk about the fact that you guys love drinking tea so much. Like tea.
That's true.
ก็รายการครูหวาน
But
KruWhan's tea time.
I'm drinking coffee.
But
That's
it's different.
ironic that we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
drink a lot of tea.
I know.
Yeah.
So that is like an idiom. Say, oh, it's not my cup of tea, which means I don't like it, or it's not my thing. It's not my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So tea. Why do you guys love drinking tea so much? Is it like yummy, delicious? Oh, อร่อยมากเลยเหมือนกับชาไข่มุกของเรางี้หรือเปล่า
I mean, it's partly because I don't know, that's difficult.
I know,
Why do we like
I
tea?
know.
I mean, it's partly culture. If you go to anybody's house in England, the first thing they will ask you is, would you like something to drink? And it was always, would you like a cup of tea?
Would you
But
like a cup of tea?
Yeah, but now it's more common to be like, would you like tea or coffee?
Right.
But in the past it was just tea. But then when coffee became more common now, but it's very normal when you go to somebody's house, the first thing they will ask you is, would you like a drink? Would you like tea or coffee?
Right. Interesting, because in Thai culture we always say เอาน้ำเปล่าสักแก้วไหม like would you like a glass of water? We don't
that's
really
not
offer
very-
like would you like a cup of tea, or maybe I mean I don't know, but in my hometown my parents always say like okay, would you like a glass of water or something?
Also in England it is really uncommon to be offered ice. Like we never have any ice in our fridge in England.
Well, it's because England is so cold.
I know. Like, if you want ice cubes, you have to like open the cupboard in the house and like move everything and like go to the back of the cupboard to find the ice tray. And then it only comes out maybe like 1 week of the year when it's like really hot.
Yeah. Because I remember, when I went to England and I wanted to drink Coca-Cola, you know, and then can I have some ice, please? And then they would give me like what? 2 pieces? Like
What,
cubes?
really?
Is it cubes? Yeah,
Ice cubes, yeah.
Ice cubes. Like I'm like, why? Because in Thailand, well, obviously because it's really hot in Thailand. That makes sense, right? Yeah.
Actually, this is another cultural point. In Thailand, I always find it funny when you ask for a glass of ice, it's like the person serving is trying to balance like the ice cube on the top of like they put so much ice in the glass that the ice cube is nearly falling off. And I always think, wow, could you get any more ice in this glass? Like, it's not possible.
We love that.
Like, you like to pour the ice in the glass until sometimes the ice falls off the top.
I like that.
That would never
I like
happen
that,
in England.
though. I like that because I feel like
Well, for sure, it must be a
I
Thai
feel like
thing.
I'm in Thailand. Yeah.
In England, they would maybe fill your glass half full of ice.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's talk about the next point about British culture. I don't understand, like I feel like British people just they say sorry all the time, and I think that is not necessary. Like, oh, sorry. Why is that?
That's a really good question. Why do we apologize constantly?
But I mean, it's nice, and it's very polite.
Yeah, maybe sometimes we're overly polite. Do you think that British culture might be like one of the most polite cultures? In some ways.
Probably, yeah.
Unless British people have been drinking and then they lose all of their manners. But why do we say sorry all the time? I'm not really sure. I think we're overly polite. Like I think we. It's really difficult.
I know.
Because I'm from England, I don't really know why.
But I mean, it's nice though. I think in Thailand we call England เมืองผู้ดีซึ่งเมืองผู้ดี means like gentleman or something very polite.
I'm a British gentleman.
Really, really,
Yes.
really. Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice, isn't it, to say sorry. But sometimes if you do it too many times, do it too much.
Yeah, I used to have a friend that would apologize constantly.
Really?
And I would have to say, well, you
That must
don't.
have been very annoying.
And well, you would say to him like, you don't need to apologize all the time, and then he would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I'd be like, "No, you're doing it again. Stop apologizing." And he'd say, "Oh, I'm sorry for apologizing." It's like, no, you're not getting it.
Fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah. Well, anyway, so now we talked about the word sorry. Let's talk about the word cheers.
Whoa! Oh,
Cheers. Come on, let's
Cheers.
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 ใช่
Chongel.
Exactly, you see, because if you say cheers in Thailand, it means ชนแก้ว
Chongel.
ใช่ใช่
Yeah.
ใช่แต่ว่า
Can be in English.
ใช่ใช่ but what about when you say cheers in England
Well, there's two meanings. You can say cheers like Chongel, or you can say cheers like thank you.
Oh, okay. So, for example, if I say, "Okay, Tom, here we go. This is your book."
Cheers.
So you say cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
Right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Can I say cheers if I just like see my friends? Oh, hi, cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Can I say that?
Only if you're thanking them for something.
Right,
Not like
right.
hello. No.
So I probably I can say, "All right, mate."
Like cheers with an S on the end is either Chongel or thank you.
That's
But cheer without the S, you can like today I'm full of cheer. It means like I'm happy.
cheerful ใช่ไหม
Like
cheerful ก็คือมีความสุข
yeah,
ร่าเริง
yeah.
แจ่มใส
Yeah,
good to
cheer.
know good to know
Yeah,
good
yeah,
to
yeah.
know
But with an S it means thank you or like Chongel. Yeah.
ชนแก้วโอเคได้เลยน่าเลยนะthank you so much anyway well วันนี้นะคะเราก็ได้เรียนความรู้นะคะได้เรียนทั้ง British slang words แล้วก็ได้ learn about British culture นะเยอะแยะมากมายเลยนะคะก็สำหรับท่านคนไหนนะคะที่มีคำถามนะคะหรือว่ามีข้อแนะนำยังไงก็สามารถคอมเมนต์มาข้างล่างวิดีโอได้นะคะถ้าวันนี้ครูหวานทำอะไรที่อาจจะผิดไปนะคะหรือว่าจะมีความผิดพลาดยังไงก็ต้องขออภัยมาณที่นี้ด้วยนะคะยังไงก็ครั้งหน้าเนี่ยครูหวานจะเชิญแขกคนไหนมาต้องคอยกดติดตามไว้นะคะ Well Tom thank you so much
it's fun.
for accepting my invitation to the
you're
show
welcome.
to the podcast ก็ขอบคุณครูทอมด้วยนะคะยังไงครั้งหน้าเนี่ยเราเจอกันใหม่เนาะ Should we
Yeah.
say goodbye to our lovely students
Yeah.
โอเคงั้นยังไงวันนี้นะคะครูทอมแล้วก็ครูหวานต้องขอตัวไปก่อนนะคะเจอกันใหม่ครั้งหน้าค่ะ Bye guys สวัสดีค่ะ Bye Bye ว้าวนักเรียนสามารถติดตามคอนเทนต์ดีๆนะคะรวมถึงการฟังพอดแคสต์ของ KruWhan's Tea Time ได้ทางช่องทาง YouTube ที่ชื่อว่า KruWhan English on Air นะคะก็ยังไงแล้วเนี่ยครูหวานขอฝากกด subscribe หรือว่ากดติดตามช่อง YouTube หน่อยนะคะรับรองเลยว่าจะมีคอนเทนต์มีเนื้อหาดีๆมาเซอร์ไพรส์ทุกคนอย่างแน่นอนค่ะมาพัฒนาภาษาอังกฤษไปด้วยกันนะคะเจอกันค่ะ